Could China's aggressive push in the West Philippine Sea be its greatest mistake? China thought its bullying tactics would weaken the Philippines, but instead it's making the Philippines stronger and more dangerous than ever. China's every move has been backfiring, and here's why their mistakes are fueling the rapid rise of the Philippines' military power. Chinese Coast Guard vessels harass Filipino fishermen. Construction on disputed reefs transforms them into military outposts. The Philippines is not backing down. The nation is rapidly transforming its military and strengthening alliances. Driven by national pride, the Philippines shows it will not be bullied. For years, the Philippines' military lagged behind its Southeast Asian neighbors. Years of underfunding and neglect had taken their toll, leaving the armed forces of the Philippines ill-equipped to deal with the growing Chinese threat. However, the situation in the West Philippine Sea has served as a wake-up call for the nation. The realization that China's ambitions could no longer be ignored has spurred a dramatic shift in the Philippines' defense posture. The Philippines is now engaged in a comprehensive modernization program, investing heavily in new equipment, training, and infrastructure. The goal is clear: to create a leaner, more agile, and more capable military force ready to defend the nation's sovereignty. This transformation is not just about buying new weapons, it's about changing the mindset of the entire armed forces. The AFP is shifting its focus from internal security to external defense, preparing for a future where it may have to confront a more assertive China. This shift is evident in the Philippines' procurement priorities, its training exercises, and its strategic partnerships. China's actions in the West Philippine Sea have not gone unnoticed by the international community. Countries around the world are increasingly concerned by Beijing's assertive behavior and its disregard for international law. This shared concern has created an opportunity for the Philippines to strengthen its alliances with like-minded nations, particularly those with a vested interest in maintaining freedom of navigation and a rules-based order in the region. The United States, a longtime treaty ally of the Philippines, has been particularly vocal in its support. Washington has reaffirmed its commitment to the Philippines' defense, pledging to come to its aid in the event of an armed attack. Beyond security guarantees, the US is also providing the Philippines with valuable military assistance, including training, equipment, and intelligence sharing. Australia, Japan, and other regional partners are also deepening their security cooperation with the Philippines, conducting joint patrols and exercises, and providing capacity-building support. These partnerships are not just about bolstering the Philippines' defenses, they're about sending a clear message to China that its aggression will not be tolerated. The Philippines' military modernization program includes fighter jets, warships, cybersecurity, and unmanned systems. New FA-50 light combat aircraft from South Korea boost the Philippine Air Force's capability to patrol its skies. These jets help deter potential threats. The Philippines has invested in new patrol vessels and frigates to enhance maritime domain awareness. These ships, with modern sensors, improve the Navy's ability to monitor and defend its waters. Unmanned aerial vehicles aid in intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. Investments in training and infrastructure ensure effective operation and maintenance of new capabilities. China's actions in the West Philippine Sea have backfired spectacularly. Instead of intimidating the Philippines into submission, Beijing's aggression has had the opposite effect. It has galvanized the Filipino people, united them behind their government, and strengthened their resolve to resist Chinese pressure. China's provocations have also pushed the Philippines closer to the United States and other like-minded nations. The Philippines' growing defense partnerships are a direct consequence of China's actions, and they pose a significant challenge to Beijing's regional ambitions. Furthermore, China's behavior has damaged its international reputation and undermined its claims of being a responsible stakeholder in the region. Countries that were once willing to give China the benefit of the doubt are now wary of its intentions. The economic costs of China's actions are also mounting. The uncertainty and instability generated by China's assertiveness are deterring investment and trade, undermining regional economic growth. Perhaps the most significant consequence of China's actions has been the surge in Filipino nationalism. The sight of Chinese vessels harassing Filipino fishermen and encroaching on Philippine territory has ignited a sense of outrage and defiance among the Filipino people. This renewed sense of patriotism is evident in the outpouring of support for the AFP, the willingness of young Filipinos to serve in the military, and the public's condemnation of China's behavior. This rise in nationalism has important implications. It strengthens the government's hand in dealing with China, making it politically difficult for any administration to make concessions on issues of sovereignty and territorial integrity. It also fosters national unity and resilience, making the Philippines a more difficult target for Chinese pressure and intimidation. The Filipino people are now more aware of the Chinese threat and more determined than ever to defend their country's rights and interests. This surge in national pride and unity is a powerful force, one that China will find difficult to counter. The balance of power in the West Philippine Sea is shifting. While China remains a formidable military power, the Philippines is no longer the weak link in the regional security architecture. The AFP's Modernization program, combined with its growing network of security partnerships, is gradually leveling the playing field. The Philippines is not seeking to match China's military might, but it is developing credible deterrent capabilities that make it a more difficult target for aggression. The Philippines' growing strength is not just about military hardware. Its strategic location, its strong alliances, and its unwavering commitment to defending its sovereignty all contribute to its growing influence in the region. The Philippines is also working with other Southeast Asian nations to find a peaceful and lasting solution to the West Philippine Sea dispute. Through multilateral forums like the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, the Philippines is pushing for a code of conduct that would govern activities in the West Philippine Sea and help to prevent misunderstandings and miscalculations. The future of the West Philippine Sea remains uncertain. China shows no signs of abandoning its expansive claims or ceasing its provocative actions. The risk of miscalculation and escalation remains high. However, one thing is clear: the Philippines will not be intimidated. The Philippines is committed to defending its sovereign rights and interests in the West Philippine Sea, and it is doing so through a combination of diplomacy, military modernization, and strengthened alliances. The Philippines' resolve, coupled with the growing international concern over China's behavior, suggests that the path ahead will be fraught with challenges. The Philippines is demonstrating that it is possible to stand up to a larger, more powerful neighbor without resorting to force. The situation in the West Philippine Sea is not just a regional issue, it is a global concern. China's disregard for international law and its attempts to unilaterally change the status quo in the West Philippine Sea threaten the rules-based order that has underpinned global peace and prosperity for decades. The international community has a responsibility to support the Philippines and other nations that are being targeted by China's aggressive actions. This support can take many forms, from diplomatic pressure and economic sanctions to military assistance and capacity building. It is essential that the international community sends a clear and unified message to China that its behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Silence and inaction will only embolden China and encourage further aggression. The world is watching how this situation unfolds, and the stakes could not be higher. The ball is now in China's court. Beijing faces a choice. Will it continue down the path of confrontation and risk further isolating itself internationally? Or will it choose the path of cooperation and work with the Philippines and other regional countries to find a peaceful and lasting solution to the West Philippine Sea dispute? The path China chooses will have profound implications not only for the Asia-Pacific region but for the entire world. The world is watching, waiting to see if China will choose the path of cooperation or continue down a road that leads to greater instability and conflict. The hope remains that China will recognize the futility of its current course and choose a different path, one that prioritizes dialogue, diplomacy, and respect for international law. The future of the region, and perhaps the world, may depend on it.